Okay, we live. Recording wise, we're live. Um, so this is the car podcast number 2. This one will be expanding into more topics because I feel like that's necessary. Um, I want to talk about the the recording setup I'm using. So I'm using OBS, and the reason why is because a lot of streamers and people that record use OBS,
Mm.
and it looks a lot better than Streamlabs. Now, I want to also say the time before the time of my first couple streams using my computer, I used Streamlabs, and the reason why is because my friend recommended it to me. He said it was the best way to stream. I'm like, okay, I'll give it a shot. My internet was quite good at the time. I was getting about 200 megabytes per second, which at the time is good. Now I'm getting about 500, but again, that's besides the point. The point was that I was trying to stream at 6,000 bit rates, which is good. That's a good thing. I couldn't even do 1,000 before Streamlabs told me that 36% of my frames destroyed itself, which means it's lagging everywhere. So I gave it a shot of doing OBS, and I did a recording at 120 FPS, which is what I'm doing here. It's using 14% of my CPU, which actually is not bad. I'm surprised it's not using more.
Mm.
And it's working so much better. I haven't streamed with it yet because I haven't found anything to stream. I think that's important.
Yeah,
But yeah,
something to watch.
it's something to do. It shows that I'm streaming at a good quality, and I watched the entire last podcast using this, and I saw, even though it's on a still image and the background's kind of changing, it still is doing it very smooth and quickly, which is nice. I do enjoy that.
Mm.
So I want to talk about that. Well, let's start with one of your topics. What topic do you have?
Oh,
We can
let's see here.
switch back and
I have.
forth. Oh, you have it written down.
Um.
That's professional. I have it in my mind because I didn't feel like writing anything.
Okay, I've written some things down here in my phone. Uh, my first. Oh, we don't have to do it in order, but we could. Makes it easier. Uh. Wow, these are some really bad topics.
Just go
God
with
damn it.
it. I
Okay,
don't know.
so my first topic just says building a race car at home. I don't know
Okay.
where I was going with that, but
I've
like
done that. I can definitely talk about that.
yeah, and
So, I
I'd like
have
to.
your
Good.
your car is a little different because it may be a race car,
Mm.
but for me personally, I've done this where I've actually taken it on a racetrack and actually raced the car against other cars.
Okay, yeah.
And what it was a old BMW. I think it was like an M3. It was an old BMW. Bought it for $500. This BMW was it had 600 horsepower. It had a full like roll cage. It was completely welded in. It wasn't bolted or anything like that. It had Recaro racing seats. Just one. There's one racing seat. The rest was completely empty. That saved about 50 pounds. Then you go on to the whole idea that it was completely made just to see how far I can take a car before I have to replace like big parts like a transmission, a drive
Yeah,
shaft, rear axles, differentials, stuff like that.
yeah.
And it lasted me 2 years of
That's
hard
pretty good.
racing. It took it 20 races. I think the longest was 15 hours. I think that's how far we did. We had to cancel the rest because it was so much rain to the point where it was about halfway up my wheel to the point where I could only go about 35 miles an hour. And
Yeah,
we said
that's
no,
not a
no, no.
race.
And it's not a
That's
race.
not
It's
fun.
just we're just walking. That's walking speed at this point.
Yeah,
We're just
exactly.
so. it lasted me 2 years before before the engine blew, which
Oh,
understandable. It's gonna happen.
yeah.
I
So
put way too much power into it, and it's obviously gonna crack,
yeah.
and it gave up. But that's 2 years. That's
Mm.
one. The rest of my cars are already kind of built for the track. It's just I'm making them better. One
All right.
car,
Yeah.
I'm making it better for the road, and one car, I'm making it better for the track. And there's it's a little hard to explain, but
Yeah. I
one
mean, there's
car,
just a lot of difference between,
one
you know.
car came with no air conditioning from the factory, and that's because they wanted it to be light and stuff.
Yeah.
I realized that that doesn't work well when you're trying to drive it on the road, 90 degrees, and the window only rolls down about 2 inches. That's not that good.
Yeah.
So
That's gonna be.
I installed one. It works all right. It does the job. It's not like a Rolls Royce air conditioning unit.
Mm.
It works. The
So
other
so
one,
did the car actually have support for air conditioning, or did you have to like
no,
rebuild something?
I built the entire thing. So I
Mm.
obviously bought the parts of the compressor, the radiator, all that stuff. I bought that, and then I
Yeah.
just modified the chassis a little bit to fit
Mm.
everything, and worked all right. It's also because I had blueprints of the original engine,
Mm. Yeah.
because the
Might
engine,
help.
yeah, the engine is based on this. It's the same kind of engine with all of the other cars that I've worked on. So I already knew that, okay, if this engine does not have an AC unit, but this one does, I know where to mount it. And basically, I took it off that car, mounted it onto this car, and it works just fine.
Oh,
So,
well.
that'll work. It only took a week to do because I was working on anything. Probably could have taken me a day or so. It's a weird flex, I know.
Yeah. Jeez.
The next thing, I took a car that here in America it's called known as the Widowmaker. You may know what this is. It's the Viper.
The vibe. Yes.
I have
Of
a 20
course.
I have a 2016 Viper ACR,
Mm.
and I wanted to make it extremely built for the track. And then I
Yeah.
decided, you know what? Let's take it on a road trip across America. See how well that works. Um, I think I could have killed myself about 8 times,
Yeah.
just
And
because.
that's just by the heat of sitting in a race car for 5 hours.
Not just that. It doesn't add that idea. It adds the point where I'm trying to drive, and the
Mm.
car just you're driving straight, and the car just, you know what? I want to go to the right, and just immediately kicks it to the right, and all of a sudden I'm
Yeah.
realizing I'm about to spin around, and I'm like, nope, nope, can't do that.
Yeah.
And it's even the worst part. It has no power steering, so
Oh,
I'm
that's
just
gonna be.
cranking.
Uh,
So
I've never driven a car without power steering, but I can imagine that it will be like hell to try to control.
play
And
racing games besides Dirt Rally. Play other racing games, and there's an
mm,
actual option to turn power steering off. Don't do that.
yeah.
But if you want to know what power steering is not like without having it, that's one way to do it.
Right.
Or turn your force feedback all the way up.
Yeah, yeah, that's
That does
I
as
have it.
well, and you have to really crank that.
Yeah, I think I have my force feedback at like 50% right now,
I have
which
mine
is
a little lower because I've been working around the house lately, and my arms were in pain.
yeah.
So I'm still trying to drive.
I,
So I'm just turning it little by little. So it works
yeah,
out. Surprisingly, it's a good
you're like,
exercise technique.
yeah. I mean, you don't have to torture yourself just because it's good to take it slow.
Have you ever done
But
a 24-hour race online? It's not
no,
fun.
I've
And I made
never raced for more than 3 hours, so
and I made the mistake to turn force feedback all the way to realistic, which is all the way on. And
yeah,
about halfway in, I realized this was a mistake, but you couldn't change it mid-race. So I'm like, all right, deal with it. I think after the race, my arm like went, like You know when your arm falls asleep and you can't move it?
Yeah, yeah.
That's what it felt like. Like I couldn't, if I was touching something, I couldn't feel it. That's how
Oh, yeah.
bad it was.
That's pretty bad.
So I realize now to turn that down when I'm doing long races. Now when I'm
Mm,
doing short races and I know I can handle it, then I'll do it because it gives me more of that realistic.
yeah.
But
I
yeah,
don't think my table would. I mean, you saw my table. It's like
yeah.
just a big piece of wood. But I don't think that my like the legs on my table could support a full feedback.
That's the thing. I had to build a whole new desk.
Yeah.
Because the desk I was using was very cheap, and the reason why is because I didn't feel like buying a new one.
Mm,
And when you're like, let's say Gran Turismo, and you go over the curb, the,
mm,
the wheel then senses that you're hitting something, like you're going on to the shoulder, and the little bumps on the
yeah.
shoulder to
Yeah.
tell you you're going on. It's like that, and I swear, I saw the desk actually move with the wheel. And it
Yeah.
was moving up and down and side to side. I couldn't
Yeah.
have that happen. It's just, especially when you're driving, it's so bad because the desk is actually steering the steering wheel.
Yeah.
And in a race, you don't want that.
No. And then
so I
everything you have on the desk, it
so I
just
took right now the
moves
desk
around.
I'm using right now is this actually hold up. It's this butcher block,
Mm,
and it's for a countertop. I decided to use it as a desk, and this thing is a is attached to the wall. I cannot move it. It does not move. You literally have to unscrew the screws and then hope you can move it. And you still probably can't because it's heavy. So,
that's the ideal setup for
it's the ideal.
for desktop steering wheels. Yeah.
It's been set up forever because it's also 8 feet. It's also 8 feet in length.
Mm,
So I can have my PC speakers. My TV's mounted to the wall. I have another monitor on the side, and I have room to put a laptop, another laptop, my steering wheel, and a bunch of other
yes.
stuff because I showed you that the rig that I built
Yeah.
um, is in another room because that room is built for racing. That's where I go to do professional racing or racing with like real life people, like iRacing. That's where I
Yeah.
do it. For mine, for fun, I have a Logitech steering wheel. I have the G29, I think. I think that's what it is.
920.
Yeah, 920. I
Yeah, that's
think
the same as I have.
I have it's for the PS4 and stuff, so that's what I have.
Mm,
It works really
yeah.
well. I've had it for 2 years now. It's hasn't broken. I've heard many complaints like from the brake pedal does not go down as far,
No,
and the
kind
reason
of weird.
why is it's because that's the reason. They didn't do that on. It wasn't like it was an accident. That's actually what they meant to do. That's what like you don't want your brake pedal to go all the way down to the floor. You want it to stop.
Yeah.
And there is a
Similar
point,
thing.
like in some games, you put the pedal all the way down, you'll need to push on it a little bit more to get that full braking. But if you just have it there, it gives you what is it, like 95% braking. So that's alright, and it works well enough for what it needs to
Yeah.
do, which
Yeah.
is just have fun. So that's what I do.
And I mean, it feels kind of like, like you're actually hitting something with the brakes, and it's
Yeah,
not just a button. Yeah.
yeah,
So, but
exactly.
but I mean, it took me a while today when I was tweaking my settings to play Dirt Rally, and it was a hell. Like the controls and the settings and like the saturations were all over the place, and just it took me a while. But when I pushed the brake pedal as hard as I could, and it just went to 20%, I was like, "Are you kidding me? This
Yeah.
isn't gonna stop anything."
Mm.
This
Yeah,
wouldn't even
it's
slow down the bike.
it's a little different, and that's why on the real setup I use like Fanatec pedals that go all the way down, but you only get two pedals. You don't get the clutch pedal, which I don't like. But the wheel has a clutch button on it that you can press and you engage it, and all that stuff. it's more better, but the problem is the seat's so hard that I don't like sitting in it for very
Oh,
long, which is the reason. Because if you look up Senna seats, they have these little pads on the just like this thin layer of carbon fiber. Well, I
mm.
took off the pads and I realized that's a mistake, and I freaking had to put them back on. So, yeah, I just have this thin layer of carbon fiber for a seat, and it doesn't like my back very much. So, I'm now
Oh yes, yeah, they look
for
barren.
yeah, they're very slim, but I mean they're light, so
Yeah,
it's what it
I mean that's what we're
works.
going for.
So I use a gaming chair, which isn't on the floor. I wish it was. I have one back here, but it's just used as a speaker system now. But I just
Oh, like
sit in.
built into the
It's
chair.
built into the chair. Yeah,
That was pretty nice.
it's also quite loud, and I
Oh
mean
yeah.
very loud. So loud. So loud that I can play it, go outside, and hear it perfectly. Perfectly. I can go downstairs and outside. Actually, down 2 floors and outside, and I can still hear it playing. Windows closed, everything. You can still hear it playing. That's kind of loud. So I just use
Yeah.
it as a chair. My cat uses it. Oh well. It just sits there. So if like someone were to come over and we were gonna watch, I don't know, videos or something, he can sit in that chair. I sit in this chair, and we just sit here and watch. Big enough screen, you can do that.
Yeah.
Then I guess the most important part of the whole idea is, I don't know if you take your racing seriously, but I wear shoes while I drive.
Mm.
I don't feel comfortable wearing like socks or something, or no socks at all. I don't feel comfortable with that, so I actually wear shoes while driving.
But I should probably start doing that because I am racing just socks right at the moment. So
But it keeps you like inclined to, okay, this is how you drive in a video game,
yeah,
and then this is how you drive in real life. You're starting to see similarities, and you want to make sure that when you're driving with shoes, you still have that same comfort as you're driving in real life. But if you start driving in socks or bare feet, the pedals can act differently, the car can act differently, the steering can act differently than real life. And eventually you'll get so used to how it feels in a video game that you won't realize that it's completely different in the real life, and then you'll start hating driving, which I didn't want to do, so I fixed that by getting some shoes. And I like these shoes. And they're also going to be they're like running shoes. They're very
mm.
comfortable, and I just use them just to drive there. It's something I do. Now, of course, when I'm driving in on the other sim, to feel like you're actually driving, full race suit, shoes, gloves, which I do have gloves. They're in this little drawer if I want to get realistic. I put that in air quotes. If you want to put that in, if you want to be more in
In character.
in character, yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just something you do. So yeah, I don't know. How did we get to the point where we talked about building race cars at home to sim races at home? Don't know.
We had,
I've lost
we
track
had
of that idea.
somewhere between like
Somewhere, somewhere.
I think it was like driving a car without power steering, and then we started
Oh
talking about
yeah.
force feedback.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
All right.
going back to what we were talking about before all this, you were talking about how your Viper during the road trip
Mhm.
was like
Okay.
wanting to
That
to turn right and left and stuff.
right. That leads
Uh,
into my topic.
yeah.
So, as my job, which it's a part of mine, I test drive cars.
Mm,
So companies would come to me and they say, "Hey, I need someone to test this car. We want to see how it
yeah.
feels on the road, see how it feels, if you live with it, stuff like that. And I got called to test some vehicles, um, last week,
Yeah.
and they said bring 2 cars specifically, because you tell
Mm.
them what cars you've driven to kind of give them an idea of what your talent is, let's say, or your experience is.
Yeah.
So bring 2 cars. Bring the Senna, bring the
Mm.
ACR.
Mm. Hello. Did they think something is screwing with me? Hang on. My internet is dying. Uh, my man. Hello.
Okay, sorry, I'm back. Um,
Yeah.
I, 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 I was talking with someone.
Mm.
They came up to me and they gave me a check someone gave me. So yeah, I'm like, I don't need more money. I got plenty. And they're like, yeah, you do. I'm like, all right, understandable. So anyway, so they told me to bring those 2 specific cars
Yeah.
to go along with. I'm like, okay. And I said, first of all, both of those cars are almost impossible to road trip. One, both of them are on track suspension. Both of them are not very comfortable on the road, and both of them have terrible gas mileage. The
Yeah.
Viper does 4 miles to the gallon. Yeah.
Ooh.
Now I'm glad the trip was in quarantine because gas was cheap.
Yeah.
Now it's starting to rise up a little bit because now we're in the yellow phase. But so I told him to bring these 2 cars. I'm like, okay, I'll bring them. Um, so I knew this. One, both of them, I cannot put any space in, and
Okay.
that's
Yeah.
because Senna has no trunk space whatsoever. It just doesn't exist. The only
Mm.
place you can put stuff is in the passenger seat. Unless you have a passenger, then you can't put anything in it.
Yeah.
The Viper has also no place to put in because it's got a roll cage, it only has 1 seat, and the
Mm.
rear has a fuel cell in it with a bunch of other stuff that's needed.
Yeah.
And the trunk doesn't come off. Like, you can't open it, it's just welded shut.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, because of that, I had to come up with a new idea. Because I couldn't road trip these. I could have them shipped. However, I like driving, so
Yeah.
I didn't. I took my SUV. You're gonna be surprised at what SUV I took, because it does terrible idea of towing. I took the Urus. I took the new Lamborghini. And,
Hmm.
hmm,
Okay, so how did that go?
I remembered that it doesn't do very well at towing, so I had to do some
Yeah.
modification. I reinforced the frame and chassis. So I reinforced that, added more torque just so it could pull. It now pulls like a. It doesn't pull semi truck load, but it pulls like a regular pickup truck. Like 14,000 pounds is what it pulls. Because I'm like that and I decided to do that.
That's just another, weird flex.
It is a weird
It's
flex, I agree.
yeah, I'm just gonna tow my cars with my Urus.
I'm gonna tow my multi-million. I'm gonna tow one multi-million-dollar car and another one that's about half a million in my
Yeah.
$350,000 SUV. Yeah, but do remember, as a I don't actually, yeah, as a test driver, I get these cars to test.
Yeah.
The Viper I bought on my own. That's my own, and the Senna's now mine. But at the time, they weren't.
Mm.
The Viper was mine. The SUV was given to me to test the maximum capabilities of an SUV. And I said, okay, towing is kind of terrible. Can I modify it to show what it could have been if you wanted to tow? They said yes. Okay, I
Mm.
did so.
Oh,
What
cool.
I've done, it can. So, at the time going down there, I only had two people, me and my fiance,
Mm.
and I drove the Senna because I like the Senna. I like driving it. I don't care if it's ill-comfortable. I'm young-ish now,
Yeah.
and it's a little hard. It's a little hard to it's a little hard to drive. I'm not gonna lie. It's a little hard and a little. It's just painful. I
Mm.
do it anyway. And then I have a closed trailer. Like, it's really long. It's a really long enclosed trailer. It can hold two cars plus
Oh,
parts and stuff like that. I put the Viper in. I put extra fuel. Extra fuel. I think I took 100 gallons of fuel for all three
yeah.
cars. Two of them, the Senna and the Viper, run on race gas only. That's all they
Mm.
run on. The SUV uses normal gas.
Yeah.
I put normal in air quotes as well, because not really normal, but whatever.
Mm.
And so I put the Viper in. I close up the trailer. I have a bunch of spare parts. I have a full set of tires for each cars. I have air pumps. Anything that you think can go wrong. Extra oil, transmission fluid, coolant, um, radiator parts, front wings, all the stuff that you think that those cars need, I had at this
Yeah.
point. I didn't have engines, obviously, but the engines were running fine. I went with it, whatever. So I went there. We went around the country, stopping in like South Carolina, Texas, and then finishing at Las Vegas. I then was watching one of a video that I actually like watching. His name's Ryan Turk. He has a Ferrari-powered Toyota GT86.
Oh yeah, I think I've seen it. Yeah.
Okay. I was reading one of the comments, and it says, okay, we put a Ferrari engine in a Toyota. How about putting a Prius engine in a LaFerrari? Like, that's a great idea. It's a great idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and one of my friends he is an exotic, like, junkyard dealer, I would say.
Okay.
He,
Yeah.
he, anything that is wrecked or totaled goes to him that's
Mm.
expensive.
Yeah. Yeah.
He had a LaFerrari, and it was
Oh.
wrecked. And what I mean
Oh
by that
yes.
is the entire front end was completely destroyed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I
So
decided
you.
I wanted to do two things. I wanted to
Mhm.
first figure out how the braking works to where I can brake, it reuses energy, puts it in the batteries, gives me extra power when I go around the corner.
Yeah.
I wanted to do that, and then I wanted to do the Prius thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I found another
uh,
one. Another one was just totaled. The front wing was completely smashed, and the owner had this wing, by the way,
yeah.
cost $400,000 to replace,
My God, that is
and he couldn't afford it. So
extremely expensive. Yeah.
he didn't want to. He didn't want to pay for it. He was like, "All right, you know what? I'm done. All right, I'm.
Mm.
I'm just. All right. I bought that too. So now I'm driving back
Yeah.
with two wrecked Ferraris,
Yeah.
a Viper, a Lamborghini SUV, and a Senna.
Wait. How did you get the two new cars with you back?
That's where I'm getting at. I had a
Yeah.
friend
Okay.
drive the SUV.
Yeah.
My fiance drove the Viper, and me driving the Senna.
Yeah.
I had to.
Yeah.
That's the only way. So, we're driving back. First of all, I am putting so much attention on myself because no
I
one
mean,
has
of
seen
course.
any of these cars. You
Yeah.
rarely
I mean,
see them. I have not seen a Urus since Monterey Car Week.
yeah.
I think that's the last time I've seen those. Well, and I've seen a couple in Harrisburg because, I've seen a couple in PA because why not? Yeah, why not? So,
But like, no one's ever seen it to tow cars.
no one's seen the ATR in a long time, and no
Yeah.
one has ever seen a Senna. I
Yeah.
think there's like 3 in the state.
Yeah.
I own one. Guy in to the west owns one, and of course Philadelphia, the McLaren dealership has one. There's 3.
Mm. Yeah.
I am now driving in a small town. Okay, I'm driving in a small town with a straight pipe Senna. I should have mentioned that straight pipe. A almost no exhaust Viper, and an Army Tricks Lamborghini with 800 horsepower and a verbal tune on all 3. I'm driving in this small town. I'd say population of 100. I'd say that's it. They have, I think, like 2 police officers in the entire town, and only like 2 cops, 2 cop cars.
Yeah.
I'm driving past, and it literally sounds like gunshots when I'm driving by.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think when I got out of the car, and I pulled in for some gas, I got a cop coming up, and he said, I got 93 calls about a noise complaint driving past. This town's half a mile long. How?
It's like everyone in the same town.
Everyone's calling, and
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm sorry. I really am, but this is the only place that had E85. I had to get some fuel.
Mm.
Now, I told you I have diplomatic federal licenses that say I work for the government, even though I don't really. But I work for
But
companies that do, so they gave me it. Which
mm.
means I can't be fined for anything.
Yeah.
So if I'm speeding, of course I get a warning, but I can't be fined. And I
Which
have it
is
on all of my cars because that's important.
yeah. Of course.
No, that doesn't mean I'm driving 200 miles an hour everywhere I go. I don't do that. That does mean I can make my cars as loud as physically possible, and I won't get in trouble in it. Until I entered this town. This town, like I said, it's very small.
Yeah.
They only have 1 gas station. They have like 2 restaurants. One's a McDonald's. Other one is like a family-owned restaurant. I think my convoy, I'm gonna call it a convoy, costs more than their entire town.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's probably true. So, I'm driving in these
You're
cars that
just
they've.
flexing on everyone.
I wouldn't say I'm flexing, but I'm driving in these cars that no one has ever seen.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I got pulled over, not for the noise complaints. I got pulled over because they've never seen the car,
Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
didn't believe it was legal. They didn't believe it existed because they've never seen it. I think their most expensive was a Ford F-150 pickup truck. I
Yeah.
think that's the most thing they've ever seen. So I'm like, I'm sorry, my car needed fueling, and it only takes E85. This is the only gas station in about a 100-mile radius that has E85. I'm very sorry, but again, I'm not. In a sense, I'm not. Because I'm not allowed to be fined for it, and I didn't. Actually, the cops were very nice. They were very
Yeah.
nice. They wanted pictures. I mean, I don't mind that. Be a next topic after I'm done. Drove home,
Yeah.
dropped my friend off, or I actually dropped him off at the airport so he can fly home. And I'm now home. I got the Prius engine in the Ferrari.
Yes, it works.
I didn't say that yet. I
Oh,
haven't gotten it to turn on yet
oh,
because I haven't connected everything. So,
oh. Looking forward to it.
yes,
Yes.
I will tell you how it goes. Like I said, where I live now, my garage is just filled with license plates that are still attached to my name, which
Mm,
means if you looked them up, you'd be able to find where I live, and I don't want that.
yeah, yeah.
So I don't take pictures. I don't take videos, and
Mm,
that's the reason. The only place I do is where I'm at someplace else,
yeah.
because you can't really track me that way. So because of that, I can't take the Prius, on the road. Which means I can't take pictures, but I will tell you, it looks kind of weird.
Yeah.
Because the rear engine is a V12. When you put this small, tiny Prius engine in it, it looks very weird. And I
I
did
can
do
imagine.
this. I did do this. So they do have the batteries. I just took the gasoline generator and put it in. The
Okay.
batteries from the LaFerrari are still in there. So technically, I'd be making about 400 horsepower just from the engine and batteries alone. Um, I'm sorry, Ferrari. If you ever hear this, I'm really sorry. I'll put the other engine back in once this experiment is over.
Yeah.
Please don't send a cease and desist letter. I really don't want that. I've
Plus, we're
already,
just
I've already
just
had
having
two.
fun.
I don't want another one. So, that's my road trip in a nutshell. The other Ferrari I'm giving to a friend because I don't want to. I'll take one. Alright,
Yeah.
I'll take one. I don't want to. That one can go wherever it wants. Alright, you said you have another topic.
Yes, I should have another topic.
Okay, we'll
What
just
else?
flip flop between topics. I think that's the best way to go through it.
Da, 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 da. Uh, yeah, this is kind of no-brainer, but saving money by working on cars at home is like, I guess, a topic. you know, not going to mechanics for
Okay, I should.
basic stuff.
The reason why is one, I don't have to. Two,
Yeah.
I don't have to. Three, I don't have to. Alright, now we've got that covered.
Yeah. Oh, I do it to save money because, you know,
that is one reason.
yeah,
And
and it's fun to learn about your car. Like how everything works in it.
it's fun to learn that putting oil in your coolant makes your car not work.
Yes, very very fun.
I didn't do that, but I was hearing that a woman put oil in her coolant and put coolant in the oil, and eventually she pulled over the road. There was foam, like this thick foam in the entire engine bay. Nice. It's also nice seeing at an AutoZone a lady pop her hood and take the oil, like a cart of oil, take it,
Yeah.
unscrew it, and pour it all over the engine, close
Oh,
it, and leave.
yeah. I've seen that as well.
You've never seen it?
No, I
When
have seen it.
no, no,
It's,
I'm talking. You've seen that one. You haven't
yeah.
seen where the guy didn't see the guy's reaction to this one, because there's a
Mm.
completely different lady. This guy that was apparently with her, literally just face palmed and then walked away. It was
Rightfully so.
so funny, because this guy's just walking away, and the lady's like, "What did I do?" And this guy turns around and he's like, "You're pouring the oil in the car. Why? You're supposed to put it in the little tube, He's like, oh, that's what that's for. And I'm like, yes, that's what it's for.
How are you even allowed to drive?
How did you? But the reason why is because before I was testing cars, I was an apprentice to a mechanic,
Mm,
and he had a shop, and we worked on cars. I'm building a shop just for me, and for people that want to, like, they have exotic cars and they want to get some work on. I can do anything. It's also one of the reasons why I bought a Viper, because I worked on like 3 of them and decided, yeah, you know what, I want one. I
hey,
did.
this is pretty cool.
Hey, this is pretty cool. I'm
Yeah.
realizing that all the people that are bringing it have no wedding ring. I wonder why. Yeah, I wonder why Dodge decided not to make them anymore. Again, I wonder why. But yeah, it's just for. It's always fun to learn. Like you said, it's always fun to learn
Yeah.
how things work. For me, it's always fun to learn what I can do to a car. Because at
Mm,
mechanics, you go to a mechanic and you say, hey, I want a twin turbo build. They build it
that,
for you. You don't know how they built it, what
yeah.
parts they're using, if they did everything right, did they grease everything, did they anything like that, and you don't know what else they did to the car.
Yeah.
When you're doing it
Which
on your
is
own, you know exactly what you did, unless you
yeah, of
don't.
course.
I mean, unless you're like sleep building. I don't know. You
Or
wake
like
up.
building and then you have amnesia the next day.
You wake up one day and you
Yeah.
see your like proud Honda, and it becomes a Honda SUV somehow.
Yeah, wait, it's rear wheel drive? How did I manage
How
to
did I
wait?
do that?
What?
How did I add a? How did
Wait, it's
I?
a convertible?
How did I add an entire another row? When did I do this? But yeah, that's mostly the reason. One, to save money, because if you go to the dealership
Mm,
for, let's say, as a thing, a 570S oil change is, I think, $2,000. For me, it's about $200.
yeah.
Because I'm not charging myself labor, because that'd be weird. Um,
You're just putting the money back into your wallet,
it's like,
just
alright,
taking
here
it
you
out
go.
and then
Thank
putting
you.
it back.
You like take
Job
it
well
out, put it
done.
on the desk, take it back, put it in.
Yeah. Oh, and then you walk around the desk.
Yeah, you walk around the desk. Thank you. Put them.
Thank you.
Put them away.
I
No.
should start. I should start doing that whenever I work in my car. That would be hilarious.
Just
Just
for
pay myself,
you just pay yourself. There you go.
just for a laugh. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
no, it'd be like that. It cost me $200 for the oil I put it in. Yeah, all right.
Hmm,
We're going out. All
yeah.
right, so that's the idea. It's because it's too expensive. I can and I want to.
Yeah.
That's my 3 things. Um,
And for me, it's like I'm super cynical. Like I don't want anyone else to tamper with my car. You know, it's my
that's
car. I want to be the one that destroys this car somehow. You
that's
know?
another thing. I don't want
Yeah.
anyone touching my car.
No one can touch this car. It's mine.
It's
But
mine
that's
now.
like, I think I have like the same like because I want to see how far I can take this car. You know, my Honda. I bought it like specifically because I wanted to build a like street rally car because the
Hmm.
roads where I live are really fun to drive. So I wanted to
Mine's
make
is
like
really bumpy.
yeah, but it's kind of I mean they're mostly smooth, but some bumpy places. But I wanted to take this car and build like a a car built for the roads out here where I live, and like the
Yeah,
race car.
understandable.
So that's why I bought this car because you know it was cheap. It's front wheel drive. It works well here, and it's
It
easy
does
to
the
work with.
job. It does the
Yeah,
job. That's
yeah,
the thing. Hondas are very easy to work on. Like I said, the
yeah,
spark plugs on mine took about 10 minutes. They were right there.
yeah. I know it's you
Like
just pop the hood and you can change
you,
them. Right?
right?
It's so
Exactly.
good. The
Everything
only
just
thing
clicks.
it's probably when I changed the exhaust headers because that was
Oh yeah, that's not that fun.
yeah no
I can't say.
that took me the entire day, and I had to call in my neighbor to bring a because I don't have a welder.
Ah,
But
yes.
but I had to bring him in so he could like help me fix everything that I and like uh, so now I actually have like racing headers
That's nice.
in. Uh,
That's got to be
but
illegal.
yeah, it's super legal. It removes the what do you call it,
Catalytic
yeah, the catalytic
converters.
converter. Yeah,
Yep.
so which is like I mean they're super strict here in Sweden. We talked about this last time.
Mhm.
But like if you do literally anything to the exhaust system or like the engines, it's totally illegal. And I have not only changed the exhaust system, but I have also removed the catalytic converter. And
You
they're like, yeah,
remove
hold on a
everything.
minute.
Hold up a
It's
minute.
like
Hold
every
it.
time I see a police car, like I was supposed to go get fuel at my local gas station. I was like, okay, here we go. I pull up and there's a cop car there, and I was like, okay, yeah, never mind. I'll just take the next one.
Just take the next one. That's what I
Yeah.
love about the like exhaust, that you have like a little valve that you can open and close.
Mm.
I like those because, like for the Urus, if I'm just driving comfortably, I want to keep it on quiet.
Yeah, of course.
I'm not gonna. It's very quiet. I
Mm.
mean, you can still hear a little bit. It's a little louder, but I mean, it's not like it's blasting. When I want to be a 3-year-old, I put it on the loud setting and I just I floor it a little bit, let
Yeah.
off, floor it a bit, let off, floor it a bit, let off.
Yeah.
So,
It's just having fun.
right, and that's what I like to do with cars that I plan to drive along the way.
Mm.
With other cars, when I'm just experimenting on what I can do to them, I straight pipe them exactly. No
Yeah.
cabs, no muffler, nothing. All of them
Yeah.
are, all of them are gone, which is
Yeah.
perfect. That works really
I
well.
I still have one muffler on the Honda,
Get rid of it.
but but I yeah I want to straight pipe it. But like if I do, the cops will 100% stop me
That
when
is
I
true.
drive anywhere with it. So
Mm,
so for the time being, if it doesn't go through the inspection, which is in 2 months, then I'm just gonna straight pipe it and drive it not legally. Just
here,
go full send and remove all the extra weight and just go full
exactly.
full full race car mode.
Right, exactly. This is why you have two cars. You have a car
Yeah,
that you
yeah,
can take. You will never get in trouble with it because one, it's not loud. Two,
yeah.
not fast. Three, it's not like going to bring attention. Then you have that other car that
And it's gonna
you take out everything, you put a roll cage in, you
yeah, yeah,
straight
exactly.
pipe it completely, race headers,
Yeah,
race.
yeah.
You put all of that in, and you have that. That's what I enjoy with the like having the my Honda and
Mm,
having the rest of my cars.
yeah.
Because they're like, okay, what do you got? I got this, I got this. I have a Honda. Wait, what? So you have all
It's
these
my
really
my
expensive cars, and you have this little tiny Honda. I'm like, yeah, I like the Honda. I
yeah.
like the
It's
Honda
a
because
cool
it gives me a
car.
break.
Yeah.
I don't have to replace the head gasket every 200 miles.
Mm.
So I don't have to do that. It's an exaggeration, by the way, but I'm giving that as an option. Like, it's nice to not have to replace anything.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, what else you got? Oh, I got a Urus. All right.
So it's just
and
like, I mean,
and then and then I get the options. They're always asking me like, hey, can you buy me a new car? And I'm like, no. And they're like, why? You got so much. No. First of all, I don't do that. Second of all, I don't want to. And third of all, I can't. The reason why
I
is
mean, you
because,
just.
first of all of the income I have is mostly saved. I
Mm.
use 25% of it. The
Oh,
rest of it is saved for, and I have this plan, half of it is saved for, like, building a studio or something like that that I want to do in the future, and I need a lot of money to do that.
yeah,
The other 25% is emergency funds.
yeah.
That means someone gets into a car accident and they need some surgery. There's that.
Hmm.
There's like a huge drought and I need that extra cash for something. That's
Yeah.
there. Um, if relatives having issues, which I don't do that anymore, but if they had issues, there you go. And then, like I said, the 25%, I split up a little bit.
Yeah.
I have 10%, like 20% of it for cars, 5% for like fun stuff like a PC, a PS4.
Mm-hmm.
I do all that. And it helps me keep on track so I can make sure I have money if I need to do anything. Like if
Yeah.
I decided I want to go back to college, I have that money to go back. That's that idea. I always have money available, and that's the important part. That's
Yeah.
why I'm like so grateful for all of that idea. But people say, "Oh, you make so much money. Give me some." No,
And you're like, no, it's not a charity.
no, I'm not a
It's
charity.
my
I
money.
I do offer to charity, but it's
Mm.
because I think you're obligated now. I think that's because if you make this amount of money, you need to give some to charity to feel like you're special, or you're feeling you're very very humble. I do it
Yeah.
because I want to, not because I
Yeah.
have to. That's the
Yeah.
difference.
As you should. You know. Well, I try to get by with the money I earn. I think I get like, I mean, specifics. I can go to numbers because I really don't earn that much money. I think I get between $300 and $500 a month. Yes.
Oof.
Yeah, and so
I
that's what I
make
earn,
I make
uh, and then that's what I try to, save 100 of that every month, so I can actually buy stuff for my car, and then the rest is food and, well, stuff that I need, like gas money.
that's another thing. Gas money is expensive.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna. Especially for race gas, it's like It's like $50 a gallon or some ridiculous money.
Jeez.
So
That's the biggest reason why it's why my car project is so slow. Is I don't have money to do anything with my car every day. I can have like a weekend, save money for that weekend to do something specific.
I
But
make, I think 1,000 times more you do a month.
yeah.
So yeah, but and I'm not saying that to like flex or brag. I'm saying that it's
No, I mean,
because I think I have. It's not. I think I have the right to, and I'm gonna explain this.
yeah, I mean, of course you do. You've earned
I worked
to
hard
get
for
that
it.
much money. Yeah.
Right. Wasn't given it. I
No.
didn't live in a expensive household. I didn't live in that. I lived in a very. I mean, we got by. There's always
Yeah.
food on the table. There's always that, but we never had any money to spend on um, a new yacht, let's say,
Mm, yeah.
or anything like that. We didn't have that much. Now I have enough to buy one. So, no,
But you've worked your way there. You've
right,
like dedicated big parts of your life to get that money, and
right, exactly.
I think that like people that, I mean, yeah, I think it's okay. I would
I didn't have.
never like go to someone with a lot of money and ask them for stuff because I want to earn that stuff. Like if I just got a bunch of money from someone, it feel like pity money, and I don't want that.
Hmm.
I I,
And
I
that's why
want
I
I
don't do
want
that.
Yeah, I want to earn my money and
People
then use it. Everything's gonna feel so much better if you do it that way.
like I had a friend that always asked me to like help him with loans and stuff,
Mm,
and I helped him the first time.
yeah,
And then I realized that he has a tobacco addiction, and I realized where that money went because he kept
yeah,
asking me. So I'm like, nope, I'm sorry. I
yeah.
can't. I can't do that. So I didn't. And that's the important part. I don't give
Hmm.
it unless you're like a family member or something like that. Or
Yeah,
I believe that you're going to use it for something good and not for your car. That's not
yeah.
necessary. That's the that's the
Oh
difference, I
my
think.
god, please! I need money. I want to put a supercharger on the Honda.
That's necessary.
uh, yeah, but
But no,
yeah,
that's one of the reasons. That's why like people are like, buy this new game, and I'm like, but I don't want that. But you're like, play with us. I don't want to, But you have so
Yeah.
much. No.
Yeah,
Fuck you.
sure, I might have money, but I'm not gonna waste it
Right, that's the difference.
just
That's
because I
another
have
thing.
money.
Just because
Yeah.
I make way more than I should for what I do, does
Yeah.
not mean that I'm gonna spend it on everything I can see.
Yeah.
There's the difference. Now that doesn't mean that I'm building a racetrack in my backyard. That doesn't mean that. But that's necessary because
Yeah, I mean, for what you do, yeah.
exactly. That's why that's necessary. But yes. Alright, got another topic.
Yes. You do you wanna go? Or
That was my topic.
oh,
Talking about talking about the
money.
I'm just talking about people asking me for stuff. Yeah, that.
So I was joking around with my friends before, and I said, oh, I should probably start a GoFundMe or something, but like for the car, for the Honda, so like that people can give me money. I was like, I just because we were joking about that I don't
That's
have
a
money in time
strategy.
to, huh?
That's a strategy.
Yeah, yeah, and be like, well, I mean, if you support me, like you can, like it's not just money for upgrading my car. It's like, yeah, like what was it? Oh yeah, it was if you pay this much money to me, you can choose a part in the car and then choose a color for that part, and I will make it
That's a
that color,
strategy. Yeah.
and I'll put your name on that part. That was
Oh.
like my idea.
So if I give you a, let's say 300,000, will you buy a brand new car and just put my name on it?
Yeah, yes, I would. All over the car. Or I mean, maybe not your real money and your real name, but you know, your
Exactly. I
username.
don't want that.
Yeah.
It's
No,
a
just put it all over the car.
yeah. You should have started an OnlyFans. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
That's what everyone does. You want to get extra money? OnlyFans.
OnlyFans. Oh yeah, because you want to see this sexy bod, you know. Just,
I'd start an OnlyFans just to show off the car. Like you
yeah.
pay for car pictures.
Yeah.
That'd be the only difference. Or like it'd be an OnlyFans, but you only get pictures of my cute dog.
Oh yes.
That's the only thing. It's an OnlyFans for my dog.
Yes.
And you don't have to pay for it. It's just pictures.
Yeah.
See, that's what I would do, because no one would like to see me. That's just weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not a girl. I wish. Sometimes I wish. Sometimes I
Mm.
don't, but sometimes I do. Because
Yeah.
that's where it's like, yes, that's what I
Yes.
want. I want to make money.
Oh yeah.
I want to make
God.
some.
God damn it! I want to make money.
I want to make things. But
Oh yeah.
but yeah, that's the idea. Like for Twitch streams, if I was to make money, I would make it money to upgrade my setup, like get better monitors, get a better like
Yeah.
graphics card, something
Yeah.
that would get me something like that. I wouldn't use it for myself because, well, I don't need to.
Yeah.
Second of all, I stream because I want to,
Yeah.
not because I have to. I think that's another big thing.
Yeah.
Like I don't monetize my stream. That's one of the things. It's just a hobby, which is
Yeah.
probably why I don't do it all that often, because I have no motivation to. But I do it if I feel like I want to stream. I'll stream. That's the
Yeah.
difference.
I think I stream like every time I play Dirt Rally. I think I stream, and that's just because it's. I mean, I get like one viewer maybe, one or
Eh.
two people. So, but you know, I just want to stream it because it's funny to see. You know,
It's a fun
my
game. Right.
yeah, it's a fun
Exactly.
game. You know, crashing around and trying to beat times. You know, it's entertaining. You know, it's like regular rally, but you know, from the from the driver's perspective.
Right. Exactly. And
So
that's like
it's entertaining.
I have a actually I have a actually it's not really a good topic for both of us, but it's a thing I wanted to say.
Mm.
I,
Yeah, you can
and
go
this
ahead.
is why I don't stream every single day for 12 hours a day.
Hmm.
Maybe just me, but I do not want to be famous.
Yeah. No,
That's why
I want to stay underground.
I want to stay under the radar.
Yeah.
There's three reasons. One, I don't want people following me or going to my house. I already
Yeah.
have people doing that because they try to steal things, but that's besides the point. That doesn't count. The point is, if I'm very famous, people would want to go after, or people would want to be friends because I'm famous, not
Yeah.
because they like me or something. That's the idea. That's one. Number two, that's why when I was racing, I didn't really want to win because I did sometimes, but I didn't want to be like a world champion because
Yeah.
if I did that, I'd be known as a world champion. I don't want to be that way. I just want to be known as a guy that can drive decently well. It's the only thing I want to know. I don't want to be known as an F1 championship or a World Rally championship, even though I've gotten close actually. But there's those ideas. I don't want to be that. I just want to be someone that likes cars, likes to drive them, and likes
Yeah.
to talk about them. I think that's a great idea. And that doesn't mean that let's say the channel we got to the point where we can start making money. I would not.
Mm.
I'd give that to whoever has put a lot of effort into it. I don't want
Yeah.
that. Unless we start to make bank, then yeah, maybe. But we're probably never gonna get there.
50, or like
But
everyone gets an equal share. And
no, that's the idea. Like it's a little different.
yeah, yeah.
That's why. It's also why I don't have a webcam.
Mm.
A lot of people have asked me, or like a couple friends said, "Why don't you have a webcam?" And I'm like, I don't want to be. I don't have my face out there. It's why I also didn't take pictures of cars, because mostly pictures of me with cars are with me in the car, and that's why I'm careful, because I don't want people to know what I look like, who
Yeah,
I am. I want to be anonymous. I want
yeah,
to be like someone that you'll know a little bit about, but you don't know too much. Now, of course,
yeah.
like real life friends will know who I am because, well, they're real life. They know what I look like and all that stuff. But for everyone else, I'm just,
Ghost picture.
I'm just CV Superman 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's all I
Yeah,
am to the rest of the world. That's all I'd rather be.
yeah,
But I think that's a great. Now, some people are not like that. They want to be as famous as possible because they like the
mm,
idea of being famous,
yeah.
which is probably why I don't like the idea.
Mm. I agree with you. I mean, sure, I might like. I'm like very casual with this, but like I don't want to be famous either. Like that would just be a hassle.
Exactly. I don't want people taking
I just
pictures of
want to be
me
like
without my
in normal
consent.
life. Yeah,
Right,
and then
exactly. I
also
want to be.
if I do something really stupid, like which I know I probably will, you know,
I already have. I don't know.
everyone, yeah, everyone messes up big times, like
Right,
but like
exactly.
I don't want to be like in papers or like on TV or in the news or anything like that. I just want to be,
Exactly.
oh, some dude did something stupid. Might be like in the local news around here or
I don't want to
whatever.
be known as the guy who showed his credit card to the world. I don't want to be known
Yeah,
as that. I want to be known as whoever I want to be known as. That's the idea. I don't want to be
yeah,
known
yeah,
as the guy that jumped off his roof into his pool. I don't want to be known as that. There's different ideas, and I
yeah.
think that's one of the more important reasons.
For me, it's more like if I put a personality out there, like for me, for like a big personality, it'd just be like my car probably, and that'd be
Exactly.
like the big thing. So like they're not they're not there for me. They're there for my car, which would be more fun, because
Right.
I
Exactly.
I want to make this car a crazy car that people like or
I
or hate.
or
It
that too.
really
Yeah.
depends. Yeah.
I mean, that's what I said. It depends on who you are as a person. Like,
Mm,
I'd rather have like my personality and what I own to be kind of like an intermix. But I don't want
mm,
to add who I look like, and because then here's another thing. when you're doing a stream with your webcam, you have to look presentable. And what I mean by that, you have to look like you don't, like, you gotta wear actual clothing. And you gotta, like, comb your hair and make sure your teeth look good. Like, those kind of things, like, I want to be casual. I don't want to
Yeah.
be. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm going to be wearing pajamas everywhere. Like, I'm wearing normal clothes. But I don't want to be. I don't want to, like. I don't want to have, like, a camera looking at me and always having the. People judging me of, like, what I'm wearing. Like, right now, I'm wearing a baseball team's shirt. I
Mm.
don't want someone to come up to me and say, "Hey, I hate baseball," or "I hate that team," and they're starting to
Yeah.
judge me for what I'm wearing. That's another thing.
Yeah.
So
I'm here in sweatpants and a sweatshirt, you know.
I'm here in
just
shorts and a t-shirt.
just
That's
chilling.
Now, of course, when I'm working with companies, obviously, I'm gonna be in a suit or a sweater
Yeah.
or something that gives me, like, I'm presentable and I'm not wearing pajamas. Because no one wants that. No one wants a guy that looks like that to be driving their, let's, for example, an Aston Martin. You don't want that. It doesn't work with your brand.
No.
So that's the different idea. That's kind of the idea. But yeah, that's basically why I don't want to be famous. I just don't want to be known as someone that I'm not.
Yeah.
So there we go. Great topic that I didn't think of until now.
Ah, very good. Very good.
Got another one.
Let's see. I have some backup ones because I think I've run out of
Run out of good ones, so I came
good
up with these
ones.
somewhat backup ones that we.
Just bad ones.
Oh no,
uh,
any topic is a topic. They're not bad nor good. I think what describes a good topic is how long we talk about said topic. I think that's what I consider a good topic. I don't care what it is, as long as we're talking about it for ever so long, it doesn't take 5 seconds to answer. Like,
yeah.
what's your favorite color? Blue. Alright. Next topic. That's the
Oh,
idea.
I like this. I don't know. It depends on the day, you know.
Depends on the day. I might like
Yeah.
green, I like blue. Yeah, it's those ideas.
It's pink, by the way, just so you know.
Yes. I 100% agree with that.
Yeah,
Mine's
pink is
Miami
best.
blue, like a Porsche. Miami blue.
Oh, sweet.
So that's
Pastel pink, I think, or like
nice.
really, really flashy, like
Salmon pink, like
screaming
that kind
pink.
of nice. Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
So what's your backup topics?
My backup topics are, well, we've been talking about uh, a bit of gaming, so I think we can get back to that. You said, oh yeah, your steering wheel that you use on
Hmm.
your like casual computer. You had the PS4
Right.
Logitech. Yeah, I bought my steering wheel like 3 years ago maybe. Uh, and I just bought it for PC and Xbox. Which, looking back, was really stupid because I have a PS4 now with Gran Turismo,
Hey.
and I really wished I'd bought the PS4 one because I can't connect the Xbox one to my PS4.
Right. Yeah.
I think about it all the time. It's like, yeah, damn it. If I could play Gran Turismo on my PS4 with a steering wheel, that would be
It's
very
so
fun.
much better.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
it's so much better. And that's
So I'm struggling with a controller
like
still, you know.
any game that has a driving aspect besides like GTA and stuff like that that has a
Yeah,
driving aspect as its main focus, I
yeah.
think works best with a steering wheel. Now, like BeamNG Drive, like I have here, maybe not because it's not meant to be driven good.
Oh, it's
It's meant to
yeah.
be
That's
driven
probably gonna work better with a controller or a
right,
keyboard,
exactly. But for like
like both.
Forza or Gran Turismo or even the Crew 2, those
Yeah,
games are better with a steering wheel.
yeah,
Change one. So, or yeah, so it's that idea. Now, I'm glad I bought because I had the PS4 before the PC,
mm,
and like I said, I wanted to just learn on a steering wheel or just race on a steering wheel.
Yeah.
And then I got a PC, and then I remembered I don't have to buy a new steering wheel because I have a PC and it just connects by USB. Oh, I don't have to buy a new one.
Bit relief. It
It is a
works.
great relief. It works.
Yeah.
I thought I broke it last year because it was making this weird sound, but then I realized that's just how it starts up. But yeah, it's worked well, so I've gotten a lot of good use out of it, and I like a
Yeah.
lot of the Logitech stuff. So
Yeah.
like I said, I again, this is a little weird. I have these Logitech speakers for $30 on Amazon.
Mm.
It's a little weird. Why would I have $30 speakers when I make a lot of? Well, that's because I like them. I like
Yeah.
that they're small. They take up less space, and they're nice.
Yeah.
They're $30 and they're really nice.
Mm. I have no speakers. I should
They
probably
just
get some.
connect. They just connect by headphone jack. So you would like. I don't know. I haven't tried the PS4 because I'm not going to. But for like my PC, it has 7 headphone jacks or something like that, or 7 audio. So you just plug it in. And you can listen to music or listen to your screaming V12,
Yeah.
stuff like that. You can do that. So there's that option, and they're nice. So I didn't have like those 200 big white speakers. Like they'd be very nice, but it's not necessary. I can get close to the same speed or same sound with $30 than I can with $350. As I digress. And it also has a big sound woofer, and it sounds like your house is shaking, just like my speaker chair.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of speakers, so I'm going up to my dad's place this weekend to get some stuff working with my car, the Honda,
Mm-hmm.
and we're gonna experiment with putting some new speakers and sound systems in the Honda.
Oh,
Looking forward to that. It will be
yeah,
very nice because right now I have no audio whatsoever. I have like a wireless Bluetooth speaker,
yeah, that's what I have with
which I
this.
just put on a dashboard right now to
That's what I
listen to
have
music.
with that's what I have with the Senna, because it doesn't have an audio system.
Mm,
Well,
yeah,
sometimes you can because you can order that, but I didn't. Well, we didn't have that, so I had just this little wireless speaker that you just slap on and it worked. With the Honda, I have a Kenwood, and it's very nice.
yeah.
And it works really well because before that, the rear speakers sounded like they were going to explode.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure mine have exploded because I get only sound in the doors right now.
Oh yeah, like if you'd like turn up, like just even listening to the radio, the speakers sound terrible.
Yeah,
But now they sound very nice, and then of course you got like the at least here you got these people like that have the windows down and they're playing this really bassy music, and then you
oh
got
yeah.
me driving by playing "Don't Stop Believing" by Journey. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's it's those
I, I I love to listen to the old
exactly.
and like I have the car playlist and it's just pop music from back.
Exactly. I have a driving playlist, a
Mm,
work playlist. So when I'm working on anything, I have that
yeah.
playlist, and I just have a playlist where I have all of the songs. And then I have a stream playlist when I play when I'm streaming.
Mm.
So like it gets me in the mood to like talk and stuff. That's the idea.
Oh, that's pretty good.
And then I have of course like the driving ones,
Yeah.
and the driving ones are all songs that I like, and I won't skip. What I mean
Yeah.
by that is I won't like I won't like skip while I'm driving, so it takes my attention off the road if I'm trying to skip a
Yeah.
song. I don't want that song.
Yeah.
I just I
Which
have
is a big part. I really like that as well. That's
so
what I do. I make playlists and then I listen to them like the one playlist, only that playlist for like 2-3 weeks, and just get rid of everything that I skip, and just take them out instantly. Uh, and then I can use them in the car to get rid of all the ones that I would skip, because I also really dislike having to skip music while you're driving. Not nice. And I have also made a new playlist recently with a bunch of the soundtracks from Need for Speed games, which is like the latest one I've been listening to a lot. Let's see, I think it's Need for Speed Carbon and Underground 2, uh, and another one. Can't remember the last one, but it's very good playlist. Great music in those games. I think Superman has left the chat again. Badoo, badoo, badoo. Hmm. Well, just me here. Guess I can promote my my OnlyFans then. Uh, no, $10. I'll paint any part of my car and that you choose in any color, and I'll put your name on it. I don't know why I would put that on OnlyFans, but you can probably get some.
OnlyFans.
Yeah, there you go. You're back. Huh? No? Where are you going, mister?
Excuse me?
Yeah. Where where are you going off to?
Sorry, we were making plans for tonight.
Ah, yeah. I, I suppose you can edit this, right? Or do you just put them up in their full length?
Full
Oh,
length. I don't edit.
full length. Oh, okay.
I don't care.
Well,
Who
me
cares?
neither. Yeah, it's gonna be fun if they actually listen through the entire thing.
I think it makes it more realistic.
Yeah, it's gonna.
Because for me, I have lots of people coming up or calling me, things
Mm,
like that. And then for some people, they live on their own and they have no one there. It's a little different. I got people
yeah,
asking me, "What's for dinner?" or "Hey, you coming over this weekend?" I have those people. I don't
yeah,
have me sitting in the dark, depressed and lonely.
yeah,
That's not a call out. I'm just saying. That's.
yeah. I was like getting kind of close there. No, no, I just tell my family that I'm gonna have I'll be talking for a couple of hours, and then they leave me be.
Yeah,
But my
that's
dad was calling me earlier, and I just told him to maybe just send a text instead.
I told him to shut up and leave
Yeah,
me alone.
shut up, Dad. I'm on a podcast. I'm gonna be famous.
If
Even though I don't
only,
want to.
even if. That's why I'm glad we only have 6 subscribers, and most of them are
Yeah.
me and my friends. That's kind of the important part. Again, wish people would actually help join, but some of the people are better for just random topics
Yeah.
than talking about cars. So it's kind of that idea. It's a little different. Depends on who you are friends with. Like I have well, I had. I don't know
Mm,
what happened to them. They disappeared. One of them are having computer issues, and I think they just don't want to do it anymore, which
okay.
understandable.
Yeah.
I understand. It's, you gotta work and stuff. The other one, I just don't know what he's doing. He's gonna listen to this, and he knows exactly who I'm talking to. So
We,
I'm not gonna
this
call him
is,
out. He just,
but we're kind of calling you out, you know. Yeah,
we're
you
kind of
know who
calling
you
him
are.
out, but
Yeah, we miss you here, buddy. You can be there.
he knows who he is.
I don't know who you are, but you know who you are.
He'll he'll figure that out eventually. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's depends on who you get,
Yeah.
and that's the big deal. That's what makes a podcast good. You need people to talk. That's the problem. I couldn't for weeks. I couldn't get people to talk. They would just kind of sit there, and I'm
Yeah.
like, this. That's why we
It's
have like.
kind of boring.
It is boring. It,
Yeah.
it's like I had to like throw away 4 good podcasts because there's 2 people that just didn't speak,
Hmm.
and that's what you can't have. You gotta have someone that's can speak, and I understand maybe people don't want to, but that's why you then don't sign up to it. You can't just like hide in the shadows. You can't do that. Not how it works. No, it's not like I'm recording you or your face or something like that, like most people do, where they have like a Discord call and they have their 6 different things. No,
Yeah.
it's just we just talk,
Yeah.
and
So that's what we're here
that's
for, you know.
what you're here for.
Yeah.
What
That's
I
why I signed up. I wanted to talk about cars.
exactly, and it's
And then we started talking about everything else, and
right, but
it's great.
I
I
mean
mean, it's like I'm looking forward to every time we
that's
have a
good.
podcast because this is fun.
I'm glad it's fun, yeah. And
Yeah,
it's kind of weird that all of a sudden when I started my podcast, everyone created a podcast. Maybe
yeah,
it's just the
yeah,
point, but what else are you gonna do? You just sit at
yeah,
home all
exactly.
day.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, sure, I can go driving, but it's kind of boring when I'm stuck in traffic,
Oh
or
yeah,
I'm
well, that's
driving
oh
on
I
bumpy roads and I can't go over 2 miles an hour because my car is so low that if I hit a speed bump, it would pop up and break my entire front splitter, which will cost 1,200 grand. It's ridiculous. So I'm out here at home and I'm like, well, what else can I do? Okay,
yeah.
let's create a podcast. And the first
Let's
couple
talk to this
episodes were,
random Swedish guy.
I mean, yeah, but it is nice to have some diversity and not just have all Americans. Even though I'm not technically American, even though I do live in America, I'm not. I'm English. It's what I
Mm,
am at heart and where I was born. But again, that's besides the point.
yeah,
So it's kind of that difference. It's more. It gives you more of a I don't know. It gives you more of a different aspect or a different look into the world, I guess.
yeah,
And maybe when we talk about cars, there's a lot of other things that have to do with cars, like
yeah,
your home, like where you live and what your garage is, how much money you make, so you can
yeah.
see, or like what you do with your money so you can upgrade your car. Like there's different aspects to it, and when we were doing the random podcast talking about random topics, I noticed that a lot of the topics that we were talking about had to do with something car or had a car
Mm,
aspect.
mm,
And because of that, I decided let's create a car podcast where it's just talking about cars and the topics that have to do with it. And
yeah,
now we're here.
yeah.
Now, of course, I'd like to get more people, but I understand there's different things. Of course, like you're 6 hours ahead of me. It's a little hard to get, because if I have people that are like, I had a friend from China.
Oh yes.
He's
Ooh.
like 13 hours ahead of me. I have to get up at
Yeah.
1 a.m. before he goes to bed. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to do that, even though I get up at 3 every morning. So this
Mm.
is fine. I can do a 2:30 p.m. podcast when it's 8 o'clock your time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that better, because mostly you're done with like eating or something. You're now in that kind of like that, what I call the last stage of the day, where you're just kind of
Yeah.
relaxing, maybe playing games, and that's where I find the best. But for me, I just got done with work and doing stuff outside and here.
Yeah.
Like, it gives me a chance to relax before I eat or before I make dinner and stuff like that. So it
Yeah.
gives me that different
So
aspect as well.
win-win.
It's it basically.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well,
so
I tried looking for like some people I know if anyone wanted to be in here, but I realized that I am basically the only one that I know that either can speak English or is interested in cars. Uh, Out of all the people I know, I have like
well,
one friend that also likes cars like I do, but he can. I don't think he would be interested in this.
he can't speak English.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a problem. I guess I was surprised. Like I said, the first time you talked, I could have sworn you started speaking Swedish, but like I saw you like typing, and I'm like, nah, this he speaks English at least.
Yeah.
And that's the point. Like, I've had a friend, he's German.
Mm.
He types English very well, but once we start talking, he just cannot speak English. And that's the difference. You can type English,
Yeah.
you can't speak it. There's a little difference there. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
now that doesn't mean that you can't have a friend that can only speak one language but can understand English. That's the difference.
Hmm.
Because then you can have someone that tells me, "Hey, this is what he's." Now it would add a little weird aspect to where we have a translator
Yeah.
in the middle of it telling me what he said. I understood that. I understand, but as long as you can understand English, and I think that's the more important thing. So yeah, it just depends on the aspect, and that I guess that's another thing. It just shows the car world is not all Americans and doesn't speak English. It's very different. It's very different cultures and how it all comes together. Like I said,
But, I'm facing a kind of weird problem because all of the videos and like all the guides and stuff how to's that I watch are in English, so I'm learning like all this stuff about cars, but I can't translate it into Swedish. So like it's really hard for me to talk to like Swedish mechanics and like other people in Sweden about what I do with my cars because I don't know the words in Swedish. I
I don't
just know it
know.
in English.
It's the thing. I will guarantee you, if you started speaking Swedish, I will have no idea what you said.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I
with
mean,
people,
some words you would understand, but
some words maybe
most of it,
because probably I watch too much PewDiePie, but
yeah,
that's and I watch a lot of people from Sweden, but it
yeah,
doesn't mean that I don't know the words. Like when I
mm,
traveled to Sweden, I had to have someone that spoke Swedish and English to tell me what people said.
yeah,
And maybe I might want to learn it, but again, it'd only be useful in Sweden. Maybe
yeah.
IKEA. Now, if you can read IKEA, that'd be great because I will know what you're saying. That's the only Swedish I know. Basically, is IKEA.
Yeah,
That's important because I go to IKEA occasionally.
that's good.
But
Mr. Worldwide there. Yeah.
for like German, I kind of understand German for the most part because I am German and I have
Mm.
friends that are German. But and then for Latin, I know a lot of Latin, even though I've taken 3 years of Spanish in high school. I still can't say a single phrase because I'm an idiot and I can't. But that's a whole nother topic, a
Yeah,
whole another day of where at a time I think it was third grade.
Mm.
My school was very weird and only taught phonics and how to say things and spell one day. And at the time when I was a child, I got very sick. Not very sick to where I was gonna die every time, but I got sick so many times. I missed the one day they told us how to say things and spell, and that was the end of it. I couldn't. From now on, I always stutter because I don't know how to say things. If
Ah.
things like big words, I'll have to figure out how to say it, or I'll attempt to say it and hope that you understand what I'm saying.
Mm. Mm.
And also, I can't spell to save my life. So, it definitely gives me a problem. That doesn't mean I don't know how to write or I don't know how to speak, because I'm
Mm.
speaking now, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think that's the reason why I have so much trouble with different languages. I don't even know how to do my own language. How will I understand how other people speak?
I know exactly what you mean. I have trouble speaking Swedish, and you know, as I said before,
That's a little
everything
awkward.
everything car related, I consume in English. You know, I
It's
like
kind of see because you have that Swedish accent that I really do enjoy. It's the
yeah,
thing I like listening to like British accents because I'm not I've been living in America for 22 years. I have an
yeah,
American accent
yeah.
or
I
what
would have never
American
guessed
thinks.
you
You would
were.
never guess I was English.
No,
But I was born in England.
yeah,
I'm like 28% English
mm,
and Welsh, and the rest of me is German and whatever else because I've never taken an ancestry thing.
yeah,
So, but so people wouldn't get that. But once I start but I say things that are English. Like I say
mm,
chips or French fries. I say
yeah,
crisps or chips.
yeah, yeah.
Trousers or pants. Chaps
Mm.
or shorts. Bonnet. Boot.
Oh yeah, yeah,
There's all those things that I say, and then I also make English jokes where I'm always skinny because all British people are skinny. It's
yeah,
just a stereotype, but it's actually true.
yeah.
Like I can, for me, I'm on that Formula One, like you have to race workman where you have to be
Mm,
really lean, but you also have to
yeah.
eat a lot of calories. I can eat one large pizza and will lose 2 pounds. Don't ask me how. I don't know.
I
I think that's
I have the
just
same
because I'm
problem.
British. I think that's the only reason. So
Yeah.
that's the idea. Like people don't understand until you start listening to me speak and hearing what I say. And then
Mm,
of course how you see me eat. I eat 6,000 calories a day. I have 4
mm,
meals and I eat very healthy, but I have to eat a lot
yeah.
cuz for lunch I had a grilled chicken salad. It has 400 calories. I have to eat I can't quite do math, but I'd have to eat like 8 of those to get just a bit of. I have to eat 8 of those just to get the normal daily 200 or 2,000 calories.
Yeah.
So because of that, I have to come up with different ideas on how to eat, but I can't eat junk food because then I get fat, and then I get skinny again in about a day. Because whatever
Yeah.
reason,
Yeah.
that's what happens. So that's the idea. So once you start learning who I, that's so when I hear a good Swedish accent or a good British accent, I'm like, hey, it's a friend, or hey, I
Yeah.
know that. They would be like, what? What are you talking about? And I'm like, I'm from England, or I go to Sweden sometimes. Like,
Mm,
it's just something I do. Because, like I said, I have not just the cars. I have 3 homes. One, I live in England, so
mm.
I have to pay English taxes, even though I go only there for a month. And the rest of the time, I have a friend staying there because he doesn't like staying in his house because it's his parents' house. So I gave him the rest of the house to stay in, so he can take care of it. I have to pay those taxes.
Oh,
I live in the U.S. I have to pay for those taxes. And a new one. I live in Sweden now.
really?
Reason why is because Koenigsegg.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have
Cool.
now I can't say the actual contract, but I am a test driver for some of the cars.
That
So I
is
have to
very
go over
cool.
there and test them.
Uh,
And I have to do a bunch of stuff like that. So I decided, and I may have to stay there for long periods of time, I decided to get a house.
yeah.
So now I pay Swedish taxes, English taxes, and American taxes. So I have to make a lot of money, or I'd go broke in about
Yeah,
three weeks.
yeah, yeah.
So that's the difference. It's the I have to have a lot of money so I can pay all the taxes. Like when you're a child, you think, "Oh my gosh, this car costs 80 grand. Okay, I'll get 80 grand." It cost about 100 grand because you got taxes, and
Yeah.
if I want a Senna in England, I have to pay an import tax about $3 billion because expensive. If I want to go to Australia and I want to buy a Lamborghini, it costs about the same amount to get a Lamborghini in the US, plus the amount of the car.
Yeah.
Because Australia has some insane luxury tax. That's the problem. You just don't understand. I have to pay a lot of money and uh, uh but yeah,
Yeah,
that's
very
basically the
cool.
it's pretty cool, but it's also really depressing sometimes. You get the bill
Yeah.
in, I think
Oh
like
yeah.
2 years ago, at the same time I was paying $21,000 in taxes. Now I'm paying I th- now I'm paying like $210,000 in taxes. So
Jesus Christ.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that doesn't even account for I do get paid in three separate countries, so that kind of helps. But I
Mm.
get paid in euros, pounds, and dollars. Do you know how
Yeah.
much times I have to convert euros to dollars, pounds to euros, dollars
Yeah.
to
Back and
euros,
forth.
dollars to
Back and
pounds?
forth. Yeah.
It's so complicated and it changes every day.
Yeah.
So for $1 I'd get maybe 90 cents or 90 whatever the euro equivalent is. The next
Yeah.
day it a dollar for a
Mm.
euro.
Mm.
Stop changing. Just keep it simple. I almost want to time it right so I can convert all of my money when like euros are more valuable than a dollar. So I'd be like, I have 200 grand in dollars. I'll have 400 grand in euros. Ha ha ha. Get screwed. That's
Yeah.
what you gotta do now. That's what you gotta do to survive.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And then maybe you can have to add in like Swedish krona as well now.
I have to do that as well because
Yeah. So that's a fourth
especially
one.
in England, they're getting since they're out of the European Union. That means a
Mm.
euro. They still accept it, but now you have to have pounds. So all the
Ah,
euros I
yeah.
had for English money, I now have to transfer that back to pounds. If I'm going to Germany, I have to have their money and
Yeah.
euros. If I'm going to Sweden, I have to have their money in euros. And sometimes I go in there and they're like, all right, I go buy a soda, whatever the
Yeah.
soda's worth. They're like, £2. What? I didn't know some places in Sweden take English money. I didn't know
Mm.
that until I figured that out. And then sometimes I go there the next day and they say it's euros. I'm like, why are you changing? Keep it simple. This is complicated. As a foreigner, it's complicated and I'm stressed.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the idea. And it also doesn't help that for sometimes I travel from the US to the England to Sweden without like sleeping.
Mm.
And I didn't realize that I'd be like, as a child, you think you can stay up for as long as you can. Like I've done it before. I've stayed up for one day as a child. And
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, this is easy. I start becoming 18, 19, 20, and now to where I am 23. I am now like, how am I doing this? How am I
Mm.
staying up for 4 days straight, not sleeping? Oh, that's right. Red Bull. That's right.
Ah, yes.
All right, that's right. That's right. I'm basically stressing that out. And you know what's the funniest part? Once I'm finally ready to go to sleep, I only sleep for like 2 hours, and then I'm ready to get up again.
Jesus.
It's the weirdest thing. It's just something I had. Probably
Mm.
because when I was 14, I had to start working because some unfortunate events happened,
Mm.
and I was the basically there was only two people in the household making money, and
Mm.
we had a bunch of loans and a bunch of debt that we had to pay off. By the way, I'm still paying off my dad's debt. I think I'm almost done though. I
Mm.
think. And it's been 10 years. I still haven't paid it off, which is telling you something.
Yeah.
And you know it's really sad? My dad didn't win a single race with all that loan, all that money. It's very sad. This is
Yeah.
why. So, I have to pay that, I have to pay taxes, I have to pay everything. It's almost like I should live in a small house and have everything else. But if I have everything else in the bank and someone steals all that, oh well. That's why I have everything here. You
Yeah.
have to come to my house to take all my money. So, ha, good luck. Have fun.
I am my own bank.
I am my own bank. I am my own accountant. I pay for everything I do. I have my own accountant, which is just basically my fiance because she has a master's degree in accounting. And is
Oh, that's
also
pretty.
really good at driving.
Mm.
When I mean very good, like in racing, we'd be like 500,000ths of a second off each other. That's how close.
Yeah.
Which is basically like you're counting one, two, and you're counting seconds.
Mm.
I'm about 5 seconds quicker than my friend that isn't driving. I'm about 500,000ths of a second faster than my fiance.
Mm.
So that's how close it was, and it's very competitive.
Yeah.
But that's the reason. So she's my accountant, even though I do most of the accounting myself because um, I make the money. So I decided to make the accounting part. But yeah,
Mm.
again, besides the point. So I'm glad I went on that rant.
Get it out.
I'm tired of saying, "Oh yeah, I make a lot of money." Okay, how much money you make? I make too much. I make way too
Too much.
much. Too much
And I
to
know
keep track of.
exactly how much, and I don't like
I
it.
don't like it. I make a lot of money and I don't want to. I think
But
that's
you
I
have
think
to.
I think that's the weirdest thing. When people
Yeah.
say, "Okay, you make this amount of money. Don't you like making that money?" I'm like, "No. Why don't you like making that amount of money? I would love that amount of money." I'm like, "You don't know how stressful it is. Have you ever had to pay a tax of 200 grand? Have you ever had to do that? No. I'm tired of it.
Nope.
But I deal with it anyway. Because I like making money. It's the
I
difference. I
like
don't like
making
having
money,
I don't,
but I
I
don't
like,
like having it. Yeah.
exactly, I like making it. I don't like having it. It's the thing when I gotta, I get checks every so often. Because that's what
Mm.
I make it semi-annually. I get paid twice a year. The
Mm.
beginning of the year and the end of the year.
Okay.
So what happens is I get a check every time, and I'm like, oh wow, I made this amount of money. I don't need any more money. Why am I making this? So it's stressful. I
Yeah,
could like basically invest all my money and own the entire companies I work for. Like,
yeah,
if you invest in a company, let's say Tesla, you own that share of Tesla.
yeah,
If
yeah.
I put all my money into Tesla, I'd own 65% of Tesla. So, Elon Musk, can I get a car?
Yeah, please. Hey, Elon, if you see this, give this man a car, man.
Put an anime flag on the moon, please and thank you. No, I buy my own cars. I think that's the most important part. I don't get
But
cars, even though I can. I
yeah,
can. I can go to, let's say, Aston Martin and ask for an Aston Martin. I
mm,
don't. I pay for them. That's what I
yeah,
do. Besides the Senna, I was given that because I've had it for now a year.
yeah.
And now, Shmi 150, by the way. Great guy.
Mm.
He says he has found the most mileage Senna at 6,000 miles. You might want to take a second look. How about 28,000 miles for you? Huh? That's what my Senna's at. I'm pretty sure I should stop driving it. Because I'm afraid someone's going to key it.
uh,
You know how expensive paint is. It's
yeah.
expensive. I don't like it.
Oh, my offer is still up. You're coming back to a few seconds ago. If you want to own a piece of my car,
You gotta
as
subscribe to
my
my OnlyFans for $5 a day.
$5, you can pick any part of the car or every part of the car,
I
and
kind
a
of
color.
I want to
Uh,
do that for myself, where you could. I want to do an idea where actually it should be a good podcast.
mm,
I want to go on like an Auto Trader or an Auto Tempest and find my next car
yeah.
and have people or like you or someone else
Mm.
come in and choose the car I should pick, and then I'd buy that car. I
Oh,
just want to
yeah.
do that because I'm tired of buying cars that I already want. I already sold 3 cars, which
Mm.
I'm glad I sold the C8 because now production's back up and I got way more than I should have. So that's
Yeah.
gone. I sold
Hey,
I sold a Raptor. I sold my Golf. Those are all sold. I didn't sell my Gallardo because I like it too much.
it's a,
Obviously the
it's a
Sen.
nice
I
car.
think the Senna I wanna give to a friend. The
Mm.
reason why is because I'd done pretty much everything I could do without engine swapping it. He
Yeah.
has not had that and he really wants it, so I might give that to him just to have him have so I can just have the Urus, the
Mm.
Honda,
Yeah.
the Viper, the Gallardo,
Yeah.
the Golf, another Golf,
On the golf cart.
a golf cart, yeah, the golf cart.
Hey, you should
Um,
put a Tesla motor in the golf cart.
that's a strategy. I thought about doing that.
That would be
Wait a
sick.
minute, I should put the Prius engine in the golf cart. Oh.
Then you can put the golf cart batteries in the Prius.
Put the golf carts in the Prius. Yeah,
Yeah.
I went to I went to go buy the Prius, and it was funny, because this guy
Mm.
thought I just told him, hey, I just want a new car. I just want another car, because the
Yeah.
other car is having some issues. I show up in this multi-million-dollar car, and he's
Oh,
like,
the.
that's not what I was expecting. And I'm like, I know. And he's like, what
Oh
are you
man.
gonna do with this car? And I say, I'm gonna take this car, put the engine in a Ferrari. And he's like, oh, okay. I'm like, yeah. And he's like, oh,
Well,
all right then.
I,
He's
so I
like,
guess you don't want the warranty and the.
he didn't have the warranty. It was actually it was a nice car.
Mm.
Actually, it was very nice. It only had about 2,000 miles on it, which I was hoping for. And I asked
Yeah.
him why did he buy it, and he's like, I thought I would be really cool saying I saved the environment, but I just looked like a douchebag, and I'm tired of doing that. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna sell it. And I'm like, I agree. And it's
Mm.
so weird, cause I had my friend drive back the Senna, and I had me drive the Prius home.
Mm.
I'm like, all right, I'll get on the gas, see how powerful it is. 5 seconds later, 20 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Another 5 seconds later, 35. Oh,
Yeah.
I need to get out the paddle. We gotta start paddling away.
Yeah.
Start moving back and forth. Come on, get it going. I hit 60 in about 20 seconds. Yeah. And then the Senna is like off and then 3 miles away.
He's
0 to
home
60
at
in
your place.
2.5 seconds. All right. Yeet. Flooring it across. And I'm here
Mm.
in my Prius going 35 in a 85 zone or in a 70 zone because it doesn't go any faster.
Yeah.
Yeah, welcome to my life. And then we're gonna put it in a Ferrari. And this is what I'm hoping for. You know what a sleeper car is? Where
Yeah.
like you have a
Yeah.
Volvo but it has
Yeah.
1,200 horsepower. I want
Yes.
the opposite. I want a Ferrari with 400 horsepower. I want it to go very slow. And I want to trick people. They're like, "Oh, look, it's a nice Ferrari. I want to race it." I'm like, "Okay, 3, 2, 1." He goes off and he's flooring it. And I'm like, 30,
Yeah.
35,
It's like.
40.
Hey, rev it, rev it. Vroom, vroom, vroom. Like, wait, that's not a Ferrari.
That's not what a V12 sounds like. What is that? It's a
What is
4-cylinder.
that?
Oh, why is there? It makes 100 horsepower. Oh, why? I wanted to. Some comment
This
told
is
some
this is
comment on a random YouTube video told me to put a Prius in a Ferrari engine. All right, got it. In we go. Then I take the Prius, put it in a golf cart, Now I have the world's fastest golf cart.
Hmm.
Wait, that's a good idea. Hold up. If I mount the Ferrari V12 engine sideways, I could fit it in the golf cart. Oh, that's a strategy.
Ooh.
Put 900
Uh,
horsepower in a golf cart. Nice.
wait, would you mount it like with a chain to the wheels or like?
I guess I would have to. I'd have to make a car into a
Yeah,
golf cart. Basically
yeah,
what I'd have to do. But you like the mirror engine that's mounted sideways? Like
yeah,
horizontal? Like Hondas. Hondas are mounted horizontal, not vertical.
yeah, yeah,
So because of
yeah.
that, it fit wouldn't fit perfectly because it'd be a really long motor, but
Mm,
again, it's electric, so I just put the Ferrari batteries in the golf cart for the front engine. In the rear engine, I'd have a Tesla motor and batteries
yeah,
in
yeah,
the entire center, and then the motor, so it'd be all-wheel drive,
yeah.
and then I'm going 85 miles an hour on the road.
And then you're gonna have to like put spacers on, like widen the
Right in the car.
wheelbase.
I gotta make the golf cart longer because if it's too short, it'd be way overpowered and
Yeah,
wouldn't
you
drive
just
anywhere.
gonna have to be able to put a. You're gonna have to put a wheelie bar on it.
Exactly. So
That would be
you show
very
it through a
cool.
drag strip. This guy's got
Yeah.
a 1200 horsepower Nova, and I'm just in there in a golf cart, and he's like, "I got this, man." All right, no, I don't. I don't got it. I'm just
Weighs
off.
literally. The only thing that weighs is like the engines.
You only got me and the
Yeah.
batteries. That's all you got. The rest is
Yeah.
weighs like 600 pounds. Nyom. Off. Away I go. I take off. I'd go faster than an airplane. That'd be the idea. And then it only look like you're going 20 miles an hour because that's all the speedometer goes to.
No, it's gonna like do the loop. It's gonna.
It's gonna go back around and then back
Yeah.
around. The rev limiter is just going to. It just stops at 0. It doesn't want to go anymore. It just goes. It goes around. It looks like a windmill because it's just going so fast. But yeah, that'd be great. However, uh, I'd kill myself and I wouldn't be here, which means you wouldn't have a podcast. Or you'd
Oh
take
yeah,
over. I mean, you could take over. I guess that's understandable.
yeah. Wait, I know. Wait, yeah, I can take over the podcast. That's.
Go
I
ahead,
was like, wait, no.
take my job as well.
Yeah, I was like, wait, no, and I was like, oh yeah, of course, someone else is. I'm not qualified for this.
You may be. I don't know. You may be qualified for a Honda tester. I don't know.
uh, maybe.
Maybe not a McLaren. I don't know about that one, but maybe. You
Mm,
would have to work your way up.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
like I have a
They're like,
will set up. You get the 720. You get the Senna. You get the Viper. You get the Raptor. You get the Urus. That's what I'd probably
uh,
do, actually. It's a good idea. Should probably write my will before I die in a car accident.
that's probably good.
It's probably a good idea. I'll get on that.
Uh, Mine would just be my little brother gets my car if I die.
I don't have any siblings because, again, unfortunate events,
Mm,
um, which we'll talk about later because I don't mind it. I've gotten
yeah.
past it. It's been 10 years.
All
So,
right.
but yeah, I think this is great. It's been an hour and 53 minutes.
Hey,
Hey, that was pretty good. Pretty
yeah.
good. All right, we can just stop it there.